What is good, boys? In this video, I'm gonna be giving you my most valuable lesson after 3 years of cold approaching. If I knew this when I was younger, this would have saved me so many heartbreaks and missed opportunities, and I would have been in a completely different place than I am now. So I don't want you to make any of the mistakes that I did, and I really want you to learn this lesson. So the best way is gonna be by telling you a story that happened to me this summer. So I was in Sweden for 5 months, and when I first got there, I went to a bar in a neighboring city. It was an hour north, and I ended up going with one of my friends who was a girl. We were hanging out, and I saw this girl who was gorgeous, and I ended up going and talking to her. She was my type to the T. Blonde hair, blue eyes, 5'3", great body, and we really hit it off. We were having a great time chatting. We were talking about some travel aspirations, where we were gonna go travel, just kind of normal bullshit that you would do when you're drunk and having a good time. And we ended up spending most of that night together, hopping from bar to bar, giving some drinks, and just chatting. So now, nothing ended up happening with her. We ended up just hanging out for the night, and a couple months later, I come back to the city. I see her there, and I'm looking at her smiling. I'm like, oh, it's that girl I know. And she's kind of giving me an evil eye. And I'm like, well, what does she know that I did at least? Because I do a lot of things, but you know, what does she think I did, or what does she know that I did? I'm like, shit. So I don't care though. I still went up and talked to her, and I was like, what's going on? And then she didn't recognize me. And I'm like, you don't recognize me? I'm the American in Sweden. Are you kidding me? Everyone always remembers me. So we end up chatting, and she does remember me, and we ended up having a good night. We hung out for a bit and ended up kissing in a booth. The point of the story that I want you to remember is that she didn't remember me after a few months. Me being an American in Sweden in a northern city, they always call me like exotic when I'm there because they never meet Americans, and if they do, it's so infrequent. And for someone to have spent the whole night with me and not remember, and before you guys comment, oh, she was blackout drunk, she was not blackout drunk. I remember. We were having a good time. We were just having a couple of drinks. It was nothing crazy. So back to the point of the story is that she didn't remember me after a couple months, and we had spent a whole night together and we were having a great time, whatever, right? The point is, when you're going out and talking to girls, if you only end up having an interaction that's a couple sentences long of you asking their name, where they're from, and they tell you they have a boyfriend, they forgot about that long before the conversation was even over. They don't care. They don't remember. If they see you, they're not even gonna think about it. You have absolutely nothing to lose by going out and talking to every single beautiful girl that you see, but you have the world to gain. So this story is a very powerful one if you truly understand it and you internalize it the way that I actually have for this video. It's so powerful because to think about the fact that I hung out with a girl for an entire night. We were having a great time, grabbing drinks, doing all this stuff, and this was in an area where I'm kind of exotic, where people usually remember me. There'll be people who I meet briefly, just like kind of a dap up, introduce myself, and months or even years later, a year will go by, and they'll be like, oh, the American, what's up? So for girls to not really, this kind of shows you that they don't really care. You can do pretty much whatever you want. You can say anything, you can try some risky ass fucking intro. You can do it all, it doesn't matter. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. So going out and cold approaching and just going with the intros that I recommend, where I say go up to them and say, excuse me, what's your name? And then ask them where they're from, and if they're, after that you say, are you in work, are you in school? This should give you enough to, one, understand their level of reciprocation and see if they're interested in this conversation, and two, it'll give you some baseline to build off of, right? Where you can formulate some open-ended questions that you can ask about furthering where they're from or furthering what they're doing with work or school. You got two things that you can utilize once you ask those three questions, and you can take the conversation anywhere from here. And if you can just hold a basic conversation, you can talk to girls. You don't need to be spitting some game, and you don't need to be Matt Rife when you're talking to girls. They don't expect you to be a comedian. So if you can just do those basics, if you can go out and just introduce yourself to girls, you're gonna have so much success. See, you don't need to have some crazy game or be the most funny guy. All you have to do is go up and introduce yourself, because they know why you're introducing yourself to them. They get it. They know that you want to sleep with them, or you want to date them, or you want to at least just talk to them in a way that's not a friendly way. Because most people don't go up to girls and just talk to them to be friends. most understand the idea that you're there for a reason with an agenda. So if you can just go up and talk to them and be a normal person, you would be surprised how much success you will have. I literally, this is another story in that same bar, in that same city, just a different time. I had a girl who I approached say to me after we slept together, "I'm grateful for you coming up and approaching me. No Swedish guys ever do that." I was like, bro, she literally just told me she's grateful for me coming and approaching her. I was like, damn, this is crazy. Imagine if younger Seb could have heard those words. Do you think he would have been scared to go out and talk to all the girls he saw? No, man, you have so much potential, you don't even realize it. I had so many insecurities, so many things holding me back. I'm a little bit on the shorter side. I'm about like 5'7", 5'8", and I always let that be one of the things, is acne, other things like that. And I tell you, every single one of these are just a self-limiting belief. You can have any girl that you want if you just go in there with confidence, you be yourself, and you just try and have a good time. And you put no expectations on the conversation. You'd be surprised how much success you'll have. So I really hope that that story can ingrain into your mind the fact that a girl forgot about me after we'd spent a whole night together hanging out months later. So you really think the girls who you go up to and say, "Hi, what's your name?" care for more than 30 seconds after that? No, they don't. So this is your sign. If you're on the fence about cold approaching, and or if there's a girl that you think you want to talk to, you see at the gym all the time, and you're not pulling the trigger on, I know that's happened to me, go and do it. You have nothing to lose, you have everything to gain. I can't portray this in any other way. I'm trying to tell you from my personal experience, I wish I could just do it for you, because once you do, you're gonna have so much inner confidence and self-trust, the fact that you actually went out and did something outside of your comfort zone, and it's gonna absolutely change your life as it did for me. So cold approaching is one of the best things I did. It's honestly one of the things that spiraled my success. I wouldn't be able to be the salesman I am today if I didn't have the communicative abilities to go out and talk to people and face rejection and just keep going. There's so many things that I've learned from cold approaching that I've used to make money with sales, with all the different things that I do. So this is your sign. Go out and cold approach. I hope you realize that it's really not that big of a deal, and the girls don't care if it goes wrong, and if it goes good, well, guess what? It went good. So that's all for this video. If this provided you with any insight or any value, please subscribe to this channel. On here, I'm going to be teaching you how to life max, basically get the most out of every single aspect of your life so you can become the absolute best version of yourself. Comment down below if you are going to actually go out and cold approach. I would love to hear about your journey, and you can come back a couple months later and tell me how much better your life truly is. All right, that's all for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day, everyone.